What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
See him on the screen there, Coach Tim Bergstraser here of the Denver out there in the Summit League. You know, the Denver Pioneers out there in the altitude, Coach. You're getting a great spot, man. I've been covering this team for a long time, so glad you're the head coach there. Now, how are you doing today, brother?
I can't complain, man. I'm happy to be here, and like I said before, we're getting situated here. I'm looking at a beautiful mountain range right outside my office, so it's. What more could you ask for? We're just eager to get some summer workouts here, and we're excited, very excited.
Sounds good. Now, Coach, let me ask you about the altitude. I know when I come to Denver, when the Hawks play the Nuggets, it gets to me. So how you adjust to the altitude in Denver so far, man?
You can feel it every once in a while. I mean, we got quite the level of stairs when you're trying to get into our facility, and it hits you even when you get up to that. And the wife and I, we've done some hiking since we've been out here a little bit. She's now fully situated out here in our house, but did a couple of hikes and we're not even getting up to 10,000 elevation. It's just smacking you. So it's good though. I mean, maybe we could use it to our advantage. That's what I said. Maybe just like the first 5 minutes or before that media timeout, we're just going to run and gun and just try to wear people out. We'll see. As long as we take care of the ball, I'll be all right.
I hear that, man. No doubt. Hey, like you said, getting guys on campus. How's it been trying to get this roster together? Using the portal. Now in D2, you got fools where you can't split them up like you did D2. So how's it been an adjustment for you, man, trying to build a roster?
I mean, I think it is all relevant and the same in some way. Like NIL is obviously a factor and a piece of the puzzle, but it's at the D2 level, you're kind of doing the same thing. It's obviously just less money. But the roster management part, it took us a little bit there right when I got the job just to figure out, all right, what do we exactly have, right now? And then, there's a lot of conversations, guys enter the portal, which is fine. That was their decision. And then for just me, I was like, all right, what do we have so I can attack? What do we have so me and the staff can attack and fill some spots here? So I like to believe that I can recruit in this landscape of, filling a roster. We had to bring in 12 guys. Fortunately, 4 guys from MSUM were following me here. along with my associate head coach. So that was a very comforting thing for me to bring. They understand how I operate, our standards, our winning tradition. So to have that as a base, that was a great start. And then we just had to go fill in, so that we brought in 4, we had 7. So we had to bring in 8 more guys after that. But it was fun. A lot of phone calls, conversations. I'm learning all these conversations with the agents, and some are good, some are bad. And, that's just part of it. And I knew what I was getting into, but when you actually have to deal with it, there could be some frustrating days. But there's a lot of good ones out there too. Don't get me wrong. But I'm very optimistic of what we're bringing in. On paper, I absolutely love our team. I think we're big, we're athletic, we got some skill. And in the end, when I look top to bottom, we're competitive. We got a lot of guys that love basketball and they care and they know what it takes to win. So as long as we're competing and playing basketball and working hard, I think we got a good chance to compete in every game. Gives us a chance to do it. So we're ready to get them onto campus. Our report date is July 7th. We're going to get rock and rolling on July 8th. So we're almost there. A lot of little things that we got knocked out before that time, but we're almost there.
Now, in this session, you have the guys on campus. It's going to be more individual work or more teams. So kind of get the guys kind of what you want to do as a team concept, while defensively, offensively. So it's not so much catch up come fall, when you come back in the fall, come August, September.
Yeah, so it's different for me. So I'm not used to having any time in the summer. We had it one time during COVID at D2, but even then, I didn't want to utilize it too much because we try to recruit guys that, they're self-starters. We know they want to be in the gym, and that's we need to adjust. And we're not going to look to kill them this summer by any means. We're not going to just wear them out. It's a long season. But, yes, there's an aspect which is important to me of weightlifting and skill development. They need to get stronger. They need to get faster. That's going to allow them to be a little more safe on the court. And then we got to really hit skill development. And then we're going to sprinkle in a good amount of, all right, this is how we want to play on both sides of the ball. That allowed me to kind of just, I don't want to say recreate what we do, but it forced me to, all right, I'm going to go top to bottom here. How do I want to teach this throughout the summer? Because I'm used to just kind of just throwing it all out there. In D2, we start September basically. So now it's like I have a little bit more time. How can I teach this where I'm not overcoaching by any means, but what's a very structured way to go about this? So it'll be a good dose, a good combination of skill development, a heavy dose of weight training, like I said. And then as we get going, and they got to get used to the altitude out here, like we were talking about, man. And that's something, again, that's new to me. We can't just go gung-ho on the first week and run them down. Like they're just going to fall over. So we need to get these guys acclimated to how it is up here at this elevation. And once we do, I mean, it'll get to a spot where it needs to be. But it's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be some things after this summer I'm going to be like, I didn't like that. I wish I did it differently. So, I'm just very eager to see how it all goes for us as a staff and as a program.
And also, Coach, for you, man, touching about the nutrition as well. I think the nutrition piece is very important. How you eat, how you recover for sleep-wise as well. So they have prehab as well. So talk about teaching them about that as well. Because I think for having a long season as you do, that's very important, how you eat, recover, and prehab and rehab.
Yeah, well, that's a vital piece of just being an athlete. And I don't think a lot of these young guys know that, coming into college or in high school, and, these AAU guys playing junior high, like you need to know that stuff ahead of time. And even just the older men that are at this level now too, they don't believe in it sometimes, but they need to understand, like, it's a great resource to help you and fuel your body the way you need to be. And, all these guys that go and lift all this weight, but then they put no protein in their body. It's like, all right, you kind of just wasted your time. So the one thing I did learn about DU, even before I got the job, like they have a ton of resources in that aspect here. Just the nutrition, the nutritionists that we have, the stuff that we can provide them, that's all new to me. So like I'm sitting here walking through campus like, man, like we're going to be in business here. Like we got what we need. And I think that's going to be great to just make sure our guys understand, we'll be able to sit them down with a legit nutritionist and say, hey, and make them understand how important this is to just fueling their body the right way. And that's going to protect them in the end too, because all these players want to be really good and high-level basketball players. All right, so use this piece to help you to elevate who you are right now. So we're going to hit that hard. We're going to make sure guys are educated properly to help them on the court and off the court in the recovery process. Because, that's one thing with me it was a blessing in disguise. Like I tore my ACL 3 times. I was forced to stop playing. That led me into coaching, God bless. But it made me realize, man, like I needed to stretch more. I need to put better things in my body. I didn't do that when I was younger. So like I really pulled these guys aside, like, no, like you're going to do this. Cause like I went through it and it didn't help me. So how about you use this to your advantage? So, and we got guys that are invested in that too, but it's for me as a coach to sell this to players before they get here. That's helped us in recruiting. because like the amount of guys that come to campus on a visit and they see what we have here, like it pops their eyes open. Because like, man, like on top of how we operate as a program with what we could provide them as resources and nutrition, the weight room, like, man, we put this together, I could turn into something special. So it's a very good tool for us to have here.
And Coach, for you, how's it been trying to schedule games? I know a lot of people are trying to call you because you're a first-year D1 coach. So how's that been, man? Trying to buy you already.
Yeah, so when I got the job, the schedule is dang near done, actually.
Oh, okay.
So they did a lot of that before, which I'm okay with that. To be honest, like at the D2 level, I absolutely despise scheduling. I know, but it's so stinking important at that level. And, for us, it's no secret. Like whoever wins the Summit League gets the chance to play in March Madness. Like that's just where we are in our league, and that's just fine because it's very competitive. But yeah, I mean, everybody's hitting us up. They want to play us, and I don't blame them. Like obviously the program, I mean, they had some struggles last year, so they're like, all right, they're going to buy us and see what happens. But I can't, say what's happening on our schedule. It's not posted yet, but
yeah, no doubt.
But it's going to be a very competitive schedule, a very competitive non-conference schedule, and I'm jacked up about it. I can't wait because it's going to really prepare us for the Summit League. And that's what your non-conference should be for where we're at right now. Whatever it takes, good opportunities, good experiences, different styles of play. Going to many places within the U.S. Like it's going to be awesome, and I'm glad we get these opportunities that we get. But it'll be nice going into next year when we're fully established here as a staff. We have a great staff here. Like I'll have my hand in a little bit, but I know like they're really good and they absolutely love that part. So it's just been eye opening for me. Like, dang, there's a lot of money being thrown around trying to get these games on those schedules. So it's we're excited. I want it to be. We got a couple things to tighten up here, but we're almost there. So once that's another thing on the long list that keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, man. Like I've been in some offices with coaches, man, trying to schedule games and hearing the conversations how they go, I've known where a guy told one guy one day, to another guy got another date, and just playing. I was like, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, finding the dates that work for you are always a mess and a juggling act. And, we're only going to have one date that works for us. Another program, same situation. So you just got to keep going down the list. But again, like we were saying before, with the struggle that the program had last year, I mean, everybody's hitting us up. So it's kind of a picking and choosing.
Yeah, let me ask you about Summer League. As you watch the Summer League on Synergy, and kind of look at what you're seeing there, Coach. We're thinking about the league and how it is, and with the coaches that are still in the league, a few of them left. But what's your thoughts on the league as a whole, from top to bottom?
And well, I've been very familiar with the Summit League. Being at Moorhead, I was like 10, 15 minutes away from NDSU. So anytime I had a free spot in my schedule, I was at a game. I mean, I'm a basketball junkie, so. And I just use that as like a coach. I want to go there and just analyze, evaluate, see how it is at that level compared to what, where I was at in our level. So like the NSIC, I don't think a lot of people understand how stinking good that league is. Like it's like another Division I league. So I'm not saying it's prepared me to be ready to go, day one on the Summit. It's not. Like I'm going to have to adjust a lot. But one thing I do know after watching it in person for the last decade, like there's high level players, like high level basketball players. And that's why now with the new landscape, you only see them there for usually 1 year. Then they're going high major, like I was saying. So it's good basketball, very good players, extremely physical, very, very physical. And that's the way I like to play. So I'm jacked up about that one. And there's a lot of veteran coaches in this league too. So I think going into this year, it's going to be a little more different. I think the league has been flushed out with players, and there's a lot of new faces on coaching staffs. So it's going to be I think a lot of people are just eager to see what's going to happen. There's obviously going to be some favorites, but a lot of people, when they do their preseason voting and all that, when they're looking into the year, I think they'd be very eager to see what's just going to happen for a lot of these teams, because it's a very transfer heavy group coming into the Summit this year. So it's I know how it is. Like if you're not ready to play, if you're not going to show up and compete and execute, you're going to get popped. That's just what it is. So for me as a competitor, I've said it to a lot of people since I got this position. Like it's exactly the league that I want to be in, because I just know how stinking good it is and how competitive it is. And there's not a lot of room for error. So you got to be the tough team. You got to be the team that is more disciplined, And then in the end, you got to have high-level players because, if that is the case, you're going to be seeing yourself at the bottom of the summit. So I'm very eager for that. That's a long ways away, but, whatever we can do with this non-conference schedule to get as prepared as possible for that, we're going to do it.
You know what, Coach? It's crazy, man. I look at the Summer League and I see Joe Esposito, who's a guy I've known for over 35 years. I was his basketball camp coach some 35 years ago. And he's still coaching at UMKC. I'm like, I knew you when I was a 5-year-old, man.
Yeah, there's the veterans. There's a lot of veterans, and there's these young bucks that are coming in. So it's going to be interesting. I'm very excited for it. Trust me. I had one opportunity this last season at NDSU to coach in an exhibition game, and that was a fun game. We didn't play the greatest. It was like that last media time out of the game. I think we had like a 6-8 point lead, and we couldn't hit a shot. And they made a lot of good winning plays. So it was just a good experience for me, going into this year too. So it'll be fun. Like you said, I'm a competitor. I wanna throw hands just like they do. So let's do it.
No doubt, man. Let me ask you this, man. Like talk about this for a young man you want in your program. Like, what are you looking for in intangibles off the court in a young man that really you feel like a great fit for your program?
Yeah, like obviously we have our standards. I don't think it's a long list by any means. When we have like our recruiting criteria, of course, what we're looking for in a prospect. It's always going to come down to, who they are as a human being, what's the character of them. Not everybody's a saint. I fully understand that, but we really do care about who that person is as an individual. That's a good start. And then how are they in the classroom? We're a high academic school, so we're going to try to find those high achievers that are great in the classroom. Can they handle the academic rigors? That's a great spot we look at. And then the next after that is, how are they as a player? Are they good enough to play at this league? And, we're trying to find guys that we shouldn't get. Because that's just, if you want to compete near the top of this league, it gives you a chance to do that for bringing those kind of players. I'm big on guys that are coachable. They're team first. They're not selfish. And in the end, I'm trying to find those guys that are just absolutely obsessed with basketball. I don't think I'm extreme, but I'm definitely obsessed with what I do. I'm so fortunate for what I do, but it's hard to coach guys for me that don't just absolutely love this stuff and don't pour everything they have into it. But I need guys that work hard. They show up every day. It's a lot of simple things for me, but we don't want to have just like this massive list by any means. We don't try to overcomplicate or make it complex. I'm just big on, are you willing to show up and focus? Are you going to show up and work hard? And then are you going to be a good person? I think that's just a good way of life that I've lived. Everybody does it differently. But I try to get a group of guys like that. But there's a lot of fake tough guys out there. I say that a lot. It's a different era right now. There's a lot of people worried about the wrong things. They're worried about is this person taking a video of me right now as I'm playing? Are they taking a picture I could post later on my Instagram? So we're trying to find guys that are just focused on the right things, and they just care about what they could do for their team and whatever it takes to win. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into winning. And then, can they come here and have a great academic experience too? There's so many things that you could have in a player. And, to be honest, sometimes parents play a factor in that too. With just in my short time here and just this recruiting off season, we've canceled some visits and cut some scholarships because of parents. And that's no knock to them, and you can't force a fit. That's just how it is sometimes. And, they might be great somewhere else. Like, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you just don't align and you can't force that. So there's everybody has a different way of how they do things. We know how we operate. We know the type of guy that we want. And then we do it wherever we can. That sifts our massive list down to a little smaller window, but it seemed to work out for us so far. But for who Coach Berge is, if you're a tough SOB, you ain't afraid to step up, make winning plays. I'm going to let you play freely. If you're going to compete off, we're going to be just fine. Because 100% and guys that don't care, it just don't work for me.
You know what's funny? I was telling this to my interns the other day, Coach B. Like, I was like, look, man, on the football field, I knew I was more talented than most everybody. I knew that. So I could use my speed in my hands when I'm on the slide. On the basketball court, I knew I had to compete defensively, make threes, hustle to be on the court. And in baseball, I knew my speed again would get me by. If I hit the ball in a gap, I could get on the base, little base. So you have to really also know your strengths too and know what you're good at. Also enhance weaknesses at the same time, but really know what your strengths are, and know what your role is, and hopefully your role and your strengths match with the role the coach gives you. And you can make impact that way. I also teach my interns. My interns they're young. They have their thoughts about certain things, but like, nah, ain't how it is. Try to give you a little advice.
Yeah. We try to tell them, like, anytime I recruit, I know I made it public, and I know, again, everybody has their process, but it's just like we try to lay it out there as much as possible. Like, so when you come here, you're not surprised by anything. You know, like when our guys get here to campus on July 7th, they'll be like, all right, this is everything Coach Berge and his staff are talking about. This is how we operate. And their families will know that as well. So I believe we're pretty good at defining roles, being very upfront with these guys, letting them know what we believe, and they might not believe or love it, but I'm going to say, hey, for how we operate as a program, this is what I think we need out of you. So let's start there, and then we'll see how you handle it, and we'll go to the next phase after that. So you can really tell the maturity level of guys, because sometimes there's no issues. Sometimes you don't need to define a role too much for a guy, but sometimes you're putting a guy in a position to do a role that he doesn't love. It's like, all right, let's see how you handle this, and we'll see who you really are. That's really test some of these young men.
No doubt. That's before you got Coach B, man. I'm asking you, what's been the coolest food spot you and your wife has found since you've been in Denver so far?
Oh, man. The problem is I don't, remember them all. Like, I've been to so many different spots. I'm like, hey, and Coach Berge can eat, let me tell you. And I can eat a lot of food. I got to watch these love handles. They're getting out of control, though. I probably butcher the name. So I love Mexican food. I love pasta and a little bit of everything. But like Perdita, I think that's a Mexican spot out here. And I love that place. We've taken some recruits to Del Frisco. Is that the spot?
Yeah, I've heard Del Frisco.
Del Frisco, yeah. They outstanding steak. I love a good steak too. So, but when I can't say I have a favorite spot by any means. Like there's so many good food spots to go to out here. I've really learned that. And, we're going to live out, 15, 20 minutes from campus. But just in that window, there's just like, it feels like an endless amount of food spots to stop at. So it's been nice. And where I was at in Fargo-Moorhead, there's plenty of that too. But even like when you bring guys to campus and families to campus, it gives you some great options. You're not kind of just limited to, 5 big spots. So it's out here. There's plenty out here to choose from. Trust me.
No
doubt. I'm gonna find them all. So hey, if you get anybody, you got ideas, let me know. I'll probably go test them out for you.
Hey, I'll text you offline, man. Because when we come play the Nuggets, man, I spots I got for you, man.
Okay, hey, hit me up. Let me know. I'll check them out.
No doubt, man. Coach B, it's fun to get you on the show, man. We made it happen, man. We got to the show, man. Look forward to doing this with you more often, man. So just know I'm cheering for you, and I want you to do well. Hopefully, you'll win the Summer League, and we'll chat again in March when you're going to the big dance.
Hey, day by day, man. We got a long ways to go, but now I'm glad we can make this work. I appreciate you and involving me on this. So reach out anytime if you need me. We'll try to help you out. Okay.
Anytime. Appreciate it so much, man.
Yes, sir. We'll see you.
All right.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? Bet Online is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. Bet Online continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show. Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.